1. Introduction. My name is Ava. I am 35 years old. I work as an English teacher. My job is at a small college in the city. My life was very simple and quiet. Every day was much the same. I woke up, went to work, taught my classes, and then went home. I did not have a husband or children. I had only a few friends. My life felt calm and peaceful. I was happy with my quiet routine. I thought my life would stay the same forever. I believed nothing new would ever happen to me. Then, one day, everything changed. It was a normal morning in my classroom. My students were coming in for my English class. A new student walked through the door. His name was Jack. He was 19 years old. He had brown hair and deep green eyes. He looked different from all the other students. He seemed calm, but his eyes held something special. They seemed to hide a secret, maybe something very deep. He walked to the back of the room and sat down. He looked at me for a moment. Our eyes met across the classroom. At that exact moment, my heart started to beat faster. It was a very strange feeling. I usually felt very professional in my job, but with Jack, it was different. His presence had an immediate impact on me. It was like a small, sudden shock. I tried to continue teaching my lesson. I tried to focus only on my work, but I could not stop thinking about him. He was just a student, and I was his teacher. This was not right in a professional place. I had taught many students over the years. Some were smart, some were funny, but no student had ever made me feel like this before. Jack was truly different. He was young, but he had a strong presence. He made the quiet classroom feel different. His arrival was completely unexpected. It was not part of my simple life plan. I did not know it then, but this moment was the start of something new. It was the beginning of an unexpected story, a story that would change my life completely. His calm way, his deep eyes, and his youth, all these things made him stand out. This was the first day. This was the introduction to a new chapter in my life, a chapter I never thought I would write. 2. The new student. Jack was a new student, but he quickly became a noticeable one. He always chose to sit in the very last row of chairs. From there, he could see the whole classroom. More importantly, he could see me. While I taught, I often felt his eyes on me. It was not a strange feeling. Many students looked at me. But with Jack, it felt different. His gaze was steady and strong. It made me feel seen in a new way. He was a smart student, always ready with an answer. When I asked a question, his hand was often the first one up. His answers were always correct and thoughtful. This made him a good student in many ways. However, there was one problem. Jack was often late. He would walk in 5, 10, or even 15 minutes after the class started. He never seemed to rush. He would just walk quietly to his seat at the back. This habit started to bother me. It was not fair to the other students who arrived on time. One Tuesday after class, I decided to speak to him. I waited until the bell rang. "Jack," I called, "can you stay for a moment, please?" He stopped by the door and turned. He looked at me with those deep green eyes. All the other students began to leave the room. They picked up their bags and walked out, talking and laughing. Soon, the classroom was empty. The sound of their voices faded away. It was just Jack and me. The room felt quiet, very quiet. I stood by my desk. Jack walked slowly to the front, but he did not sit down. He stood a few feet from me. "Jack," I started, "I need to talk to you about your attendance. You are often late for class. This is not good. You miss important parts of the lesson." I tried to sound firm like a teacher. I wanted to be professional. He listened to my words. Then he smiled. It was a small smile, but it changed his face. His eyes seemed to twinkle. "I know, Ms. Ava," he said. His voice was low and calm. "Maybe I come late because I like to see you notice me." My heart jumped. My face felt warm, and I knew it was red. I did not know what to say. His words were so direct. They were not what a student usually said to a teacher. I tried to hide my surprise. "Jack," I said, trying to make my voice steady, "please be serious. This is about your grades and your learning." He did not stop smiling. He just looked at me. "I am serious," he said softly. Then he turned and walked out of the classroom. I stood there alone for a long time. The empty room felt different now. Jack's words played again and again in my mind. "Maybe I come late because I like to see you notice me." I told myself to forget them. I was a teacher. He was a student. I needed to be professional. But it was hard. His words stayed with me. They lingered like a soft song I could not stop hearing. I thought about them all afternoon. I thought about them that night. They were a secret thought just for me. 3, the rainy day. One afternoon, the sky turned dark very quickly. Heavy rain began to fall. It hit the windows of the college building with a loud sound. The wind blew hard, making the trees outside move wildly. I was still inside my classroom, working. I had many papers to grade from my students. I wanted to finish them before going home. The clock on the wall showed it was already late. Most students and teachers had already left the college. The building felt very quiet, except for the constant noise of the rain. It was a little lonely. I looked out the window. The rain was not stopping. It was a strong storm, and the streets looked like small rivers. I knew my walk to the car would be very wet. I sighed and continued my work. I checked each paper carefully, writing helpful notes for my students. Time passed and the rain did not get lighter. Finally, I finished the last paper. I gathered my things, put on my coat, and picked up my bag. It was time to leave. I walked through the empty hallways. The lights were dim, and I could hear my own footsteps in the silence. When I reached the main gate of the college, I saw someone standing there. It was Jack. He was standing under a small part of the roof, trying to stay dry. He did not have an umbrella. He looked cold, and his clothes were a little wet. He saw me and gave a small nod. "Hello, Ava," he said. His voice was quiet, almost lost in the sound of the rain. "Jack, what are you doing here?" I asked him. I was surprised to see him. "I thought everyone had gone home hours ago." "I am waiting for the bus," he explained. "But it is very late today, maybe because of the rain." The bus stop was a little walk away, and the rain was still very heavy. I looked at him. He looked young and a bit helpless standing there in the rain. My car was close by. I thought for a moment. It was not usual for me to offer rides to students, but it was raining so hard and he looked so cold. "It's raining too much," I said. "My car is right there. I can give you a ride home if you want." He looked surprised for a second, then a small smile appeared on his face. "Really? Thank you, Ava. That would be very kind." We walked quickly to my car. The rain splashed on us, even in the short distance. We got inside, and the car felt warm and dry. The sound of the rain outside became softer, like a gentle hum. The air inside the car was quiet. Neither of us spoke much. I started the engine and drove slowly, carefully, through the wet streets. The wipers moved quickly, pushing the water away from the windshield. Jack sat beside me, looking out the window at the blurry world outside. The drive was not long. Soon, I stopped the car in front of his house. It was a small house with a dark roof. I put the car in park. Jack did not move right away. He turned his head and looked at me. His green eyes were serious. "Thank you for the ride, Ava," he said. His voice was soft, almost a whisper. Then he added, "You're not like anyone I know, Ava." His words were simple, but they felt very big. They made me feel something new. He opened the car door and stepped out into the rain, then quickly went to his house. I watched him go inside. I sat in my car for a moment, the engine still running. His voice and those few words stayed with me. All the way home, and all through the night, I kept hearing him say, "You're not like anyone I know, Ava." His words echoed in my mind, making me think about him and about myself in a way I had not done before. The quiet car ride and his final comment changed the feel of the rainy day for me. 4. Secrets in the library. Many weeks passed after the rainy day. I tried very hard to keep everything professional between Jack and me. I was his teacher, and he was my student. That was the only thing I wanted people to see. But Jack seemed to have different ideas. He always found ways to talk to me alone. It was like he planned it. Sometimes he would come to my desk after class, asking questions about the lesson, even when he knew the answers. Other times, he offered to help me carry books from my office to the classroom, making sure we were the only two in the hallway. He always found a reason to be near me, to be just the two of us. One afternoon, I was in the college library. It was a very quiet place, filled with many old books and the soft sound of pages turning. I was looking for a book for my next class. Suddenly, Jack was there. He walked up to me quietly. He did not say anything at first, just stood near me. The library was almost empty, so it felt like we were in our own small world. He started to talk in a low voice. He told me he did not live with his parents anymore. He said he had lived by himself since he was 16 years old. He had to take care of everything on his own. My heart felt very soft when he told me this. He was so young, only 19, but he had already lived through difficult times. I could see the pain in his deep green eyes. It was a sadness that was too big for someone his age. I felt a strong need to protect him, to keep him safe from the world. It was a feeling I had never felt for a student before. I wanted to help him to make his life easier. We stood there for a long time, just talking quietly. He told me more about his life, and I listened. I did not speak much, just listened to his words, feeling a deep empathy for his story. Then, as he finished speaking, his hand moved slowly. His fingers gently touched my hand. It was a very light touch, but it felt strong. It was a moment that felt like time stopped. My mind told me to pull my hand away, to remember I was his teacher. But my heart did not let me. I did not move my hand. I let his fingers stay there, touching mine. In that quiet library, a secret connection grew, stronger than any rule. 5. The rumors begin. Whispers began. They were small sounds at first. Then they grew louder. They moved through the college hallways like a quiet wind. Students in the hallways talked. They looked at me and then at Jack. Their eyes seemed to follow us. They said we were too close. This made me feel uneasy. I tried very hard to ignore it, but the whispers did not stop. They became a constant noise in my mind. They followed me everywhere. They followed Jack too. One morning, I was in the staff room drinking my tea. The room was usually a calm place, but this day it felt different. A colleague came to me. Her name was Ms. Evans. She was an older teacher. She looked at me closely, her eyes serious. She asked, "Ava, are you spending too much time with Jack?" Her voice was quiet, almost a whisper itself, but her words were like a loud shock. My heart started beating very fast, like a drum. I felt hot, then cold. My hands felt a little shaky. I tried very hard to stay calm. I took a deep breath. I said, "No, of course not, Ms. Evans. He is just a student. I am just helping him with his studies." I tried to sound normal, like everything was fine. But inside, I felt a strong wave of guilt and a cold fear. I was afraid of what people thought. I was afraid of what would happen if the rumors became louder. I was afraid for my job. I was afraid for Jack. Every day after that, the feeling grew. My heart raced whenever I saw Jack, even from far away. I wondered if everyone in the college knew. I wondered if I had made a big mistake. I wondered if I should stop talking to him completely. But then I saw his smile, or he would say something funny in class. And I remembered our quiet talks in the library, and I knew deep inside that I did not want to stop. One afternoon, Jack came to me. We were in the quiet library, a place where we often met. He looked at me, his face serious for a moment. He said, "Ava, I hear the rumors." My stomach dropped like I had fallen. I thought he would be sad. I thought he would be angry about the gossip, but he was not. He smiled. It was a small, calm smile full of confidence. He said, "Let them talk. I do not care what they say." He looked directly into my eyes. His gaze was strong. "I like you," he said simply. His words surprised me. They also made me feel a warm, comforting feeling in my chest. He was so brave. He was not afraid of the whispers, but I was afraid. I was afraid for both of us. I told him, "Jack, we really need to be careful." My voice was soft, almost a whisper. I looked around the library quickly. Luckily, nobody was near us. "People are watching us," I said again. "This is a college. I am your teacher and you are my student. This is not good." He just looked at me. His deep green eyes were steady. He did not say anything for a moment. Then he reached out and touched my hand just for a second. His touch was warm and gentle. It sent a strange feeling through me, a mix of alarm and comfort. I knew I should pull my hand away quickly. I knew I should tell him to stop doing such things, but I did not. My hand stayed there. I said again, my voice a little stronger this time, "We really, really need to be careful, Jack, for both our sakes." But even as I said it, I knew the truth in my heart. The truth was, I did not want to stop seeing him. I did not want to stop our quiet talks. I did not want to stop the way I felt when he was near me. The rumors were there. The fear was there. The guilt was there. But so was something else, something new, something strong and exciting, and I wanted to keep it even with the risks. This was a very difficult time. I felt many things all at once. Guilt and fear were strong like heavy weights, but the feeling for Jack was stronger, like a light pulling me forward. It was a secret, but it was growing bigger every day. And the whispers in the hallways were growing louder too. 6, the choice. One morning a message came. The school principal wanted to see me. My heart started to beat fast. I felt nervous. I walked slowly to his office. The door was open. I went inside. The principal looked serious. He asked me to sit down. He began to speak. He said, "Ava, we have a problem." He told me that some parents had called the school. They were not happy. They had heard things. They talked about me and Jack. The parents said I was spending too much time with a student. They said it was not good for the school. They wanted me to stop. They wanted me to stay away from Jack. The principal said the school needed to be careful. He said my job could be in danger. I listened to his words. My face felt hot. I felt a mix of shame and anger. I knew the rumors were real. Now they were a big problem. That night I went home. I felt very sad. I sat alone in my living room. The room was dark. I started to cry. Big tears came down my face. I thought about everything. My quiet life was gone. Now there was trouble. I thought about Jack. I did not want him to have problems because of me. He was so young. I thought about my job. It was important to me. But Jack was important too. What could I do? I thought about leaving the college. If I left, then the problems would stop. Jack would be safe. It was a hard idea. It made my heart hurt. Could I really leave my job? Could I leave everything I knew? The next day I saw Jack. He asked me if I was okay. He saw my sad face. I told him about the principal. I told him about the parents' complaints. I told him I was thinking about quitting my job. I looked at him. I waited for his answer. He did not look scared. He looked strong. He reached out his hand. He held my hand tightly. His touch felt warm and safe. He looked into my eyes. He spoke clearly. He said, "If you leave, I will leave too." He said, "I am not afraid." His voice was calm. It was full of strength. His words were like a light. They showed me something important. They showed me that he was serious. He was not a child. He was a man. He was ready to face problems with me. I always thought I was protecting him, but he was protecting me too. In that moment, I understood. What we had was not just a secret. It was not just a feeling. It was real. It was strong. It was love, and it was worth fighting for. My fear began to go away. A new feeling grew inside me. It was hope. 7, walking through fire. After much thought and many long talks, we made a big decision. We would stop hiding our feelings. We knew this would be hard. It felt like walking into a storm, but we also knew we could not keep our love a secret any longer. We were tired of living in the shadows. We wanted to be honest, even if it meant facing trouble. Our first step was simple, but it felt huge. We chose to go to a busy cafe in the city center. We knew many people might see us there. My heart beat fast. I felt nervous, but also strong. Jack held my hand under the table. He smiled at me, and his smile gave me courage. We ordered coffee and talked, just like any other couple. It was a normal thing to do, but for us, it was a brave act. News travels fast in a small college town. It felt like overnight, everyone knew about us. The whispers grew louder. People stared. Some students looked surprised. Some teachers looked away. The air around us changed. It felt heavy with judgment, but we kept our heads high. We heard many things. Some parents called the college again. They were angry. They said bad things about me. Colleagues talked behind my back. Some friends stopped calling. The gossip was everywhere. It felt like a fire burning around us. People said our love was wrong. They said I was a bad teacher. They said Jack was too young. It was a very difficult time. But Jack never left my side. He was strong. When people stared, he would just hold my hand tighter. When someone said something mean, he would look at them calmly. He told me every day that he loved me. He said we would face this together. His strength helped me to be strong too. He was my rock in the storm. Every day we had to fight. We fought against the mean words. We fought against the sad looks. I also fought my own fears. I worried about my job. I worried about my future. I worried about Jack, but we talked about everything. We supported each other. We learned to ignore the noise. We focused on our love. It did not happen quickly, but slowly things began to change. People saw us together often. They saw that we were happy. They saw that our love was real. We were not just a scandal or a rumor. We were two people who loved each other. Some people started to understand. They saw our true feelings. The anger and the gossip started to fade. The fire around us began to cool. We walked through it, and we were still standing together and strong. 8, a new beginning. 1 year passed quickly. Jack finished his studies at the college, and I left my job there too. We decided it was time for a big change. We wanted a fresh start, far from the old whispers and all the judgment. So we moved to a new city, a place where no one knew our past. It was a long journey, but we felt excited about what was next. We dreamed of a quiet life, building something new together, just the two of us. In this new city, we found a small shop on a friendly street. It was perfect for us, with big windows and a cozy feel inside. We worked hard to make it our own. We painted the walls in soft colors and filled the shelves with many, many books. We decided to open a bookstore. It was not just a place for reading. It also had a small coffee corner. Jack loved making coffee. He learned to make many different kinds of drinks, from hot tea to cold coffees with special flavors. He was very good at it, and his drinks were always delicious. Customers loved his warm smile and his wonderful coffees. I managed the books. I helped people find new stories and old favorites. I loved talking about books with our customers every day. Our days were busy, but they were filled with joy and purpose. Every morning, before we opened the shop, Jack would kiss me. His kiss was warm and gentle, a sweet start to each new day. It felt like a promise of good things to come. I was now 36 years old, and Jack was 20. The age difference, which once seemed like a big mountain to climb, did not matter to us anymore. We were happy together, building our life, day by day, hand in hand. Our home was a small apartment right above the shop, so we were always close to our new business and to each other. We had faced many difficulties in the past, but we came through them stronger than before. Love had found us in a very unexpected place. It was a love story that many people did not understand at first, but for us, it was true and real. We knew it in our hearts. I looked at Jack every day, and I felt so lucky to have him by my side. I would never regret our story, not one part of it, not one moment. This was our new beginning, a life built on courage, hard work, and true love. We were finally free and at peace, ready for whatever came next. We were home together,